All right, that was the fantastic Tracy Martin from Bluer by the Lake podcast. Go follow her over on Substack and all the places. Let's welcome in to take her spot the equally fantastic Amy Courtney, executive director at the wonderful organization Mad Voters, perhaps the finest advocacy and educational pro democracy organization in the state. Amy, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my first time on the weekly show, so this is exciting. I am so honored to be here, and what a great lineup too. So
we are honored to
here.
have you. Been looking forward to having you on this show for quite some time. It is the first, let it not be the last. So let us begin here. Well, actually, no. Before I jump into the headlines, let me give you the same opportunity I gave everybody else at the top of the show to just briefly introduce yourself and tell the folks where they can find out more about Mad Voters.
Sure. So Amy Courtney, I'm the executive director of Mad Voters, and we are an Indiana-based nonprofit that empowers civic engagement and promotes progressive policies through state-level advocacy, outreach, and education. So lots of good work. We exist to help Hoosiers, to help individuals advocate for themselves, whether that's at the state house or the ballot box, and just tons of really good information and resources. You can find us at madvoters.org or at Mad Voters on all the social media except for the bad place.
Fantastic. Brilliant. All right. Well, housekeeping complete. Let us jump into our Indiana briefs and take a quick trip around the corn. So this from ABC News. The body of Maria Florinda Rios Perez, the woman who was shot and killed by a Whitestown homeowner when she was sent to the wrong address for a cleaning job, was returned home to Guatemala this week for burial. The shooter, Kurt Anderson, has been charged with voluntary manslaughter and is scheduled to be tried starting March 30th of next year. A trio of stories from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle this week. Go follow them, by the way. Just another fantastic organization here in the state. Nikki Kelly, the editor over there, does a great job. So please follow and support the Capitol Chronicle. They had a story this week about the disgraced former Clark County Sheriff Jamie Noel, who is inching toward fulfilling his $3.1 million in restitution he owes, resulting from his 2024 conviction on 27 felony charges, including corrupt business influence, theft, tax evasion, and official misconduct. While he continues to serve a 15-year sentence, his multiple Indiana properties and extensive collection of classic cars have been liquidated, raising some $2.7 million, though outstanding mortgages and various fees have reduced the amount available in escrow to $1.2 million, while civil judgments also continue to pile up. We'll keep an eye on that one. Staying with the Capitol Chronicle, researchers from the Center for Effective Lawmaking, a nonpartisan collaboration between the University of Virginia and Vanderbilt University, ranked Representative Erin Houchin, my representative. I'm in her hometown here, by the way, the Salem Witch, and as well as former Senator and now Governor Mike Braun. They've been ranked among the most effective lawmakers in an issue-specific analysis of January 23 to 2025. This is when Braun was still in the Senate. He was named the most effective Senate Republican on housing policy. He got points for sponsoring two substantive pieces of housing-related legislation, one of which passed the Senate chamber but didn't become law. Houchin, for her part, was named the most effective House Republican on education matters. She sponsored one substantive and significant education proposal that became law, plus two substantive bills that died early on. Also from the Capitol Chronicle this week, the Indiana's cigarette consumption is down 40% in the first 3 months after the state's first tobacco tax increase in years. Hoosiers are also enrolling in the state's smoking cessation program in record numbers. Additionally, this $2 per pack tax hike has raised $188 million for the state's coffers. And finally, in our Indiana briefs this week from Axios, local advocates for THC products are launching an information campaign aimed at sharing positive usage stories in an effort to stop the ban on hemp-derived products, slated to take effect next November. The Health Club of Broad Ripple and Indianapolis-based product maker Weed the People are asking Hoosiers to share their testimonials online and contact their representatives. I'll have a link to that in the show notes if you're interested in sharing your stories. Also, hey, just subscribe at whosleft.us so you get my show notes, which, even if you don't watch the show, make a very nice summary of the week's news. So, with those briefs behind us, or well, with those briefs mentioned, rather, Kurt, let me ask you, which of those stands out to you?
Well, getting recognized, Houchin getting recognized for doing something. Well, when you don't do very much, then the only thing you're going to do, you get recognized with. And the smoking thing, what they failed to mention is that smoking is down about 40% on a national level, also from 2022. From I think it was 2023 when this study was done, the most recent one I read. It's down 42.4%, I think, from 1965. So it's not, are we doing a little bit better here in Indiana? Oh, well, that's possibly, but this is a national thing. Okay. So anyway, so
Hey, look,
that's,
I'll take a policy when we get it. It is
I
rare in
know,
this state,
I know,
but
I
this
know.
one, hey, listen, kudos. They did the right thing this time, and it's actually working. Now, Jesse, let me ask you about Houchin and Braun. Do you question the metrics there as much as I do?
Well, I mean, to me, this is like perfect fodder for a socialist, right? Because I think they are very effective at using this fundamentally broken system to get what they need, right? I think it's worth pointing out, by the way, that challenger to Andre Carson, George Hornado, relied extensively on studies from the same center about Andre Carson's supposed ineffectiveness as rationale for why we needed somebody different. Yeah, do we want someone who is effective in the same way that Erin Houchin and Mike Braun are? I sure the hell don't. Right now, I think it is interesting that somebody who is pretty closely aligned with his constituents' views on most issues, like Andre Carson, can be perceived as ineffective and can't get policies passed. To me, that's an indictment of the entire system of our legislature, which is deadlocked, which is bought off by corporate interests, rather than a sign that Andre Carson needs to do something differently. I've got critiques of the guy. He's not, a socialist. He's not a DSA member. He does take big money, I think, that he shouldn't take. But in terms of his policy positions and the way he engages on most legislation, I can't find much to critique, and certainly don't find him to be an ineffective lawmaker because he's not greasing more palms and getting more corporate giveaways passed with his name on it. So,
yeah, I think by their metric, like if you pass garbage bills, that's effective. But if you block garbage bills, that's ineffective. I don't know. Amy, I will give you the final word on our briefs here today, if you would care to comment on one or more of those stories.
Well, yeah, let's stick with the effectiveness. I think another data point that's important to note is that, the last few Congresses have been some of the most ineffective and least productive in American history. So I think you have to take it with a grain of salt. As a progressive, when I saw this, I thought, oh gosh, who are the hacks that are coming up with this? But then I saw, okay, it's the University of Virginia and it's Vanderbilt, and they're trying to be objective. So they're using objective criteria to come up with this idea of effectiveness, which I think Jesse nailed it. Effective at what? Effective at a broken system, right? And also there is nuance, and there's maybe some other factors that could be taken into beside just the criteria that they're using. So I'd say that's one thing on that. I wanted to also hit on the cigarette conversation. So as a former smoker, I actually just celebrated 20 years as a non-smoker, which is incredible, but also I understand how hard it is, and I understand what that addiction is like. And my husband actually works in public health, and so he likes to remind me of evidence-based practices. And as much as I really hate to put the onus on the individuals, and so many people who are addicted to smoking are poor, there is evidence that hiking the taxes does decrease smoking. And so, I don't know that there's a better answer or better options right now, but I think the more that we can reduce smoking and just make resources for quitting available to people, I think that's a good thing. So, probably some more to dig into there, but it's good any way you look at it if we're reducing the overall smoking, right?
Yeah, it works. Public policy works. I also am a former smoker, and let me tell you, when they raised those taxes and sent cigarettes from like $5 a pack to $6 a pack, that's what told me, all right, it's time. And my God, they're like between $10 and $13 a pack now. I can't imagine. It literally is setting money on fire. Hey,